now, we're facing a man-made disaster of global scale, our greatest threat in thousands of years.
Why is it important to talk about climate change?
Because summers are getting very hot. Because it is getting difficult to breathe in my own city.
Because farmers are getting less rain. Because it is a matter of my future.
Because we are the future.
Socio-emotional learning are delivered to marginalized children in India. Despite all the technical issues, I think they've done a great job. So I'd like to introduce each one of them to you. Our first performer tonight was Sanjay Kumar H. from BM English School. He shared a powerful poem made of questions he and his classmates have about the climate crisis. We then had a theatre piece that explored the thoughts, fears, and hopes of young minds about the future of our planet. The performers included Daphne D, Divya Lakshmi D, Yadhunandan M, Mohammad Arafat, and Syed Ryan from BM English School as well. And finally, we had a vibrant Dara, Preetham, Sai Charan, and Nisha from Mount Everest English School. Once again, I'd request everyone to put your hands together for Slam Out Loud. Jay Sundi to felicitate them. I request everyone to give them a round of applause.
And tenor. We are here to look at climate change through art. We've had a close relationship with art from time immemorial. The cave paintings are a testimony to this. We have used art to interact and communicate with each other and with the world in general. Welcome to the second edition of eARTh, which puts art at the heart of climate action. In the inaugural year, the eARTh initiative brought together environmental artists to create more conversations around climate change. Over the 9 months of the fellowship, we tried to instill a scientific understanding of climate change among the fellows. This has resulted in the incredible art that you see right outside the auditorium. I will encourage each one of you to go around, check out the art pieces, and encourage our artists. We have an array of artworks from interactive installations to comic books, to games, to videos and stuff. Our fellows also got a chance to showcase their artwork at the India Clean Air Summit, which was held last month. In the coming year, we plan to scale up our public engagement by engaging with select schools in Bangalore. We have also piloted a new app called the Carbon Meter app. Right now, it's still at a basic level. We'll be developing it further to include more components so that people can make informed choices. Please give it a try during the coffee break. Talking about today's event, we have an interactive session coming up, conducted by Slam Out Loud. It will hopefully help you brush up your poetry skills. We also have 2 community leaders from the coastal villages of Kerala who will share their experiences of seawater intrusion into their villages, with Dr. Manjula Bharati, who heads the School of Habitat Studies at the Tata Institute of Social Sciences. Our eARTh Climate Fellowship mentors, Mamta Sagar, Surekha Vasudikshit and Sean Sebastian, and fellows, Kavya Kottary, Jyothika Byju, Rishabh Shetty and Yadhunandan will share their climate art journey with us. We will end the evening on a high note with the Vasudikshit Collective. So sit back and enjoy the program. Meanwhile, I call upon my colleague Merlin Francis to come up and take us through the coffee table book. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri. Good evening, and thank you to all of you for joining us here today. First, we would like to play a special message from renowned musician Ricky Cage, 3-time Grammy Award winner and UN Goodwill Ambassador, who has been a long-time supporter of CSTEP's work, especially the eARTh Initiative.
Hey everyone, I'm Ricky Cage and I'm here to talk about CSTEP's new initiative, eARTh, Art and Artists for Climate Change. Now, with all the problems that we face on our planet, especially the environmental problems, we've got climate change, we've got species extinction, deforestation, plastics pollution, air pollution and whatnot, I believe that all of us are fully aware of these problems, maybe not at an analytical or a statistical level, but at some level, all of us know that, there's something called as climate change. Species are dying, they're going extinct, or the plastics are really bad for us, especially single-use plastics. So all of us are aware at some level of all of these problems. So the golden question is not about how we create awareness on these problems. The golden question is, how do we convert this mere awareness of problems into actually taking concrete action within our own lives? That is what we need to do. Now, everyone talks about changing the world, but we so rarely talk about changing ourselves. And that's not because we are bad people or we're evil people. It's simply because the way we've built our systems around us, the way we've been educated, we always believe that we are very insignificant. That if I stop using single-use plastics, what difference will it make? Or if I reduce my dependence on fossil fuels, what difference will it make? Or if I use public transportation, what difference will it make? I'm so insignificant. But the truth is that we are significant. So how do we convert this mere awareness of problems to actually taking concrete steps within our own lives? I believe arts and artists will make a huge difference because you can showcase a ton of scientific data to people, which is very important, but it'll probably make no difference in anybody's lives. You can showcase a ton of analytics and data, but even that will probably not, you can give a whole lot of speeches that will not probably make any difference. What is needed is for artists, in my case musicians, but artists to take these complex ideas and thoughts and to simplify it through the emotional language of arts so that you're hitting the hearts and the souls of people in an emotional way And that is what will drive people to bring about changes, within their own lives. So I believe arts and artists will, are that catalyst and are really, really important. CSTEP is coming up with this coffee table book, and that's what they're launching. And and it features some amazing artists who have used their art to actually bring about change. And I congratulate these artists. I congratulate CSTEP for this coffee table book. And I think this is going to be quite a game changer, simply because I believe that all of these artists are working towards making a better future for our future generations.
We have all heard the adage, a picture speaks 1,000 words. In the context of climate change, we have seen this time and again where data and facts fail to move people emotionally. A story, a photograph, a play, or a painting, not but understand it in a way that is sometimes very personal and therefore very powerful as well. We believe that art and artists have an important role to play in the climate conversation. Through the eARTh initiative, we hope to facilitate the creation of more climate art in a way that is informed by scientific evidence, discoveries, and solutions. eARTh, the coffee table book, is one of the 3 elements of the initiative, which includes this event, as well as the Climate Art Fellowship, the art you see exhibited outside. eARTh features 13 artists, including Gigi Skaria, a visual artist exploring how urbanization is exacerbating inequality and class differences, Harini Nagendra, an ecologist but also a writer of both fiction and non-fiction books exploring themes of nature in a way that forges an emotional connect with readers. There's Janvi Phalke, writer, filmmaker, and historian, and the founding director of Science Gallery, Bengaluru. The gallery has become a hub for those interested in the past and future of science in India. Mamta Sagar, acclaimed poet and playwright and founder of Kavya Sanjay. Through her poetry, Mamta sheds light on nature, on respecting nature, and on living sustainable lives. There's Srijit Ramanan, theatre artist, who brings a unique approach giving voice to those affected by climate calamities. His latest play, Chevitorma, recounts the stories of various community members of Vaipin, a flood-prone area in Kerala. To make the audience experience the intensity of tidal flooding in his plays, the stage is set in a tank full of water. The actors in the play are themselves from the community and those affected by the impact of climate change on this island. These are just some of the artists in the book. There are many others. Sureka, Vasu Dikshit of the Vasu Dikshit Collective, whom you will be hearing later on today, architect Vinu Daniel, filmmaker and independent journalist Sean Sebastian. It also features the artwork of our 4 fellows. Through eARTh, we hope to highlight the work being done by artists who are involved in the climate conversation and hope that it helps amplify their thoughts, reflections, insights, and wisdom. If you'd like a closer look at the book, please reach out to my colleagues at the registration desk outside and leave your email IDs and phone numbers. I now invite our Executive Director, Dr. Jay Asundi, to speak a few words.
Things to say. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that Ricky had my speech. He pretty much covered all the topics I wanted to talk about, but what I can do is repeat a few major points. First of all, as many of you know or may know, CSTEP is a think tank. It's based in Bangalore, though we also have an office in Noida. And our mission is to enrich policy making with innovative approaches using science and technology for a sustainable, secure, and inclusive society. As you would have guessed from the name of the institution as well as our mission, we have a number of people with technical backgrounds in our midst. Almost 20% of our folks, our research folks, have PhDs, and almost 70 to 80% have master's degrees, either in engineering or in environmental science. We've been studying issues around climate change for a long time. However, one of the things, as Ricky pointed out and also Shri pointed out, was that numbers alone don't make the change. it is the ability to emotionally connect with people that will lead to conversations that will then lead to change. And it is with this principle in mind that we feel that we need to have these conversations. We need to start talking about some of the things. I think we scientists, unfortunately, are dismissive about some of these aspects. We try to think that numbers make the change, but I don't believe numbers alone make the change. It's the conversations that make the change. So from that perspective, I must commend our communications team to come up with this particular idea of the eARTh initiative and to come out with the idea of bringing together artists and mentoring them over a longer period of time as opposed to a 1 week or a 2 week perspective, and bringing to forth some of the ideas that we think about in our scientific disciplines and in our areas to actually bring it out and bring that emotional connect that we can have with the people. I must say that the Slam Out Loud crew that put out that wonderful display before, and a particular aspect brought to my mind is that why aren't we hearing those birds? And made me think, I'm sure there are birds that I heard in my childhood that I don't hear anymore. And then of course there are some birds that I never heard as a child, so I don't even know what I'm missing. The second thing is about who is going to solve this problem? Why do we have all of this here? And this brings us to the idea of how are we going to have that conversation on collective action. So from that perspective, I am particularly pleased that we have started this initiative. I do believe that this is just the beginning for us to have this conversation, to have the people who do the technical minded work to also discuss with people who are in the know or are looking to actually do certain action. Because again, like I mentioned, it is collective action that will make the change. So I hope this is the beginning and that we all here and we all made the pledge together to work towards climate action and have a better future, not just for us, but for the children that performed earlier in the day. So thank you very much for being here, showing your support, and I look forward to interacting with you during the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay, for that inspiring message. I request Sri Rekha to please hand him a token of appreciation. Up next, we have an exciting and interactive session for all of you. Introducing Poem for the Planet, a poetry workshop facilitated by the incredible team from Slam Out Loud, led by Ms. Gauri and Ms. Meenakshi. This is your chance to channel your thoughts and emotions about the planet into poetry, guided by our wonderful facilitators. Whether you're an experienced poet or completely new to writing, this workshop will give you the tools to express your feelings about climate change and the world we live in. Please welcome Ms. Gauri and Ms. Meenakshi to take us through this activity.
Hi everyone, I'm Gauri. I'm Meenakshi. And we're from Slam Out Loud. If you're not familiar with Slam Out Loud, we're an Arts for All education non-profit. We integrate a socio-emotional learning curriculum that is completely arts-based in schools across the country, and we are based in 4 cities. And before we get started with our interactive workshop, we would like to start with a feelings check-in. Could you please go to the next slide?
Okay, so first of all, when you walked in, you saw all the art that was displayed outside that has been made by these artists. And then you watched our kids perform and you heard how they feel and what they're concerned about in regards to climate change. So we want to take a few responses as to how all of this made all of you feel. And we have a few illustrations on the screen. So we would like for you to pick one illustration to represent your feelings and tell us why you've picked that one. Can we have audience mics?
Yeah, we'll have one person going around with a mic. So when we're taking responses, we would ask that you raise your hand so that we know that you want to share your response with us. And then I think Preston will come to you with a mic. So yeah, take a minute and revisit all the wonderful art you engaged with today as an audience. Introspect on how that made you feel, or any feelings that it evoked inside you. And if any of those feelings, even marginally, aligns with any of these illustrations here, we invite you to raise a hand and share your feeling with us. Oh, lovely.
We have one.
Yeah.
Also, this whole session is going to be interactive, so please do interact with us.
Hi, I'm Ganesh. I'm an artist as well. I'm here to visit some of the artists who worked on this project. This subject is very close to my heart because I believe in reuse, recycle, reduce, things like that. And the second slide has got my attention because if you see the horse and the kid, they're trying to cross over through a rainbow, with a rainbow, help of a rainbow, from a dry land towards a greener side. You know, that's a good sign to see for this generation to, you know, apply brakes and take a look where we stand, where we are heading, why we are heading, where we are heading, and take a U-turn. You know, it's time to take a U-turn. It's time to reuse, reduce, and recycle. That's what I feel will help the future generation. Thank you.
We'll take maybe 2 more responses.
Hi, my name is Vijay. I'm from Sahar Zero West. So first thing I could see, the transition I could see from A to F, it's a dark world that's falling behind us. We could see that the impacts of the climate change and the children who are going to get affected. If they take a right direction, see, like in B, we have the rainbow, we have the strategies we follow to mitigate and adapt to the climate change. And okay, remaining on, I'll give to the other people. Finally to the F, we see, we'll come up with the peace, with the environment, with the citizens. And yeah, we have to fight with the climate change. It's inevitable, you know, to completely reduce the impacts because the damage we have already done. So the only thing we have to do now is mitigate and adapt. Yeah, thank you.
That was a really beautiful response. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Roshan. I work with OMI Foundation. What caught my attention was the last art where the kid is trying to repair the damage. Yeah. So he talked about reduce, reuse, recycle. I think replenish and repair is, you know, the 2 other R's that could be added to sort of mitigate the damage that is already done and to rework and reprioritize our, you know, our future to sort of leave a better planet. Thank you.
That was a beautiful response. Thank you so much for sharing. Do we want to take one more response?
Is there anyone else who wants to tell us? We'll take one final response.
Yeah. Or even if a feeling was evoked not by the art but by other people's responses, yeah, you can put that on a feelings card as well. Oh, you want to share? Do you have your hand up, sir? Okay, all right. In that case, we will move on to the main segment of the interactive session today. First, we will be reading a poem called A Photograph by Jilmil Breckenbridge. Sure. Do we want to invite?
Does anyone want to, you all have the poem with you. Does anyone want to read it? Does anyone want to read it out for everyone?
I'm sure we have at least one person who's really keen to like dramatically and theatrically read the poem for all of us, put all their feelings into it. Oh my gosh.
Photograph by Jilmil Breckenbridge. Imagine you are looking at a photograph of a city. The city is your beloved Delhi. The skyline's familiar. India Gate, Rashtrapati Bhavan. The sky is murky and dense. You could slice it like cake. See the mother and the child in the photo. Maybe the mother about to say, "In our times the sky was cornflower blue and the child wonders what blue is." Imagine this is not a photograph at all. See the child wearing a mask. You are the mother gasping. The sky is murky and dense. Everything around is dying, choking. Green trees can't breathe, birds drop dead mid-flight. Reuters report 1.24 million died in 2017, that children are getting brain damaged. Meanwhile, crops burn around Delhi, firecrackers and money burn, vehicles around noxious fumes, the Yamuna is stagnant and still. Yes, imagine this is a photograph. Just imagine.
Pritha, thank you so much for that really evocative reading of. Thank you, Pritha, for that really evocative reading of Photograph by Jhilmil Breckenridge. We would invite the audience to reflect on a few aspects of the poem. First, the first prompt is there any line from the poem that really stood out to you? And if so, why?
Please do raise your hand if you want to share with us.
So can I just give a brief, or like the whole thing or only the first thing? Yeah. So I could really relate to this because I was in Delhi last year, and I could say, like when I visited Delhi, the slowly I got to see what are the changes in Delhi. So first, the impact is I was doing job there at NIUA. It was within a month, it was flooded. Yamuna was flooded. So I could say I directly got impacted by it because I was suffered with dengue later. And also, I could say that climate is very extremes either. So it was very humid. People used to carry the kerchiefs because a lot of sweating used to come. At the same time, it rained suddenly. I saw the floodings and all how it happened. So yeah, and again, geographically, Delhi is suited in very different scenario. It will get, the air pollution, we could see how the surrounding states, their actions create impact to the Delhi. Yeah, so these are like mostly I saw the sufferings of Delhi only. The solutions, we need to find it out yet.
We'll take one more response if anyone has a line that stood out to them.
I choose the fifth one. Everything around is dying. Choking green trees can't breathe. Birds drop dead mid-fight. And in around our society, there are a lot of pets. They are dying, like birds and cats. And near my house, there is a cat who died. And some people came and take it out. And the humans are also dying because their health is not good. And because of the climate changing, that all happening on there. It's not good health for there, and they are dying.
Thank you so much, Preetam, for sharing. The next prompt is we would like to invite the audience to reflect on any particular imagery in the poem that really stood out to you or was very striking for you, like a particular image in the poem. Preston, we have a response here.
So I think the imagery which got my attention the most is the line where you were saying that, where it says that, see the child wearing a mask, you are the mother gasping. So in that very moment, it's no more a photograph that you're looking at. Suddenly you see yourself there, and it is in that those two lines it becomes a reality. So that's the most striking bit for me.
I definitely resonated with what you said. I would like to hear snaps from the audience if anyone else felt like she really voiced what you had in mind, like if the same image had stuck out to you as well.
Okay, so we have one final question, and that is, did the poem address any concerns that you yourself have?
A concern is like a worry, something you're worried about when it comes to climate. Did the poem remind you of any of those worries or concerns? Please raise your hand if you would like to share.
So it goes like, firecrackers and money burn. As you know, when you burst firecrackers during Diwali, we must try to reduce it because it produces a lot of pollution and it emits a lot of smoke. And also, usage of vehicles over many years produce harmful pollution which are very bad for human beings and animals also. And Yamuna, Many people get water from Yamuna also, and we ourselves are polluting it. And in the future, we will not have sufficient water. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, if you flip your page over, the backside has the same poem but with a couple words blanked out, and also the title has been removed. So we're going to interact with this poem by we're basically going to make it our own. What I want you to do is I want you to read the first three stanzas and fill those blanks in with words that you want to put there and title it whatever you would like.
We'll give you 5 minutes for you to work on your interpretation, like to make a photograph your own and name it whatever you want.
Is anybody else ready to share? Yes, we have one hand up there. Should we come back to you?
Yeah. So should I recite the first three stanzas?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I have changed a few things in it. So imagine you're looking at a photograph of a city. The city is your Mumbai. So I'm from Mumbai. The seashores, familiar Marine Drive and Chowpatty. The water, I'm not talking about the sky. The water is grey and black. Could not believe it's like gutter. See the child and father in the photo. Maybe the maybe the father about to say, in our times the water was clear, and the child exclaimed, "What clear water?" Imagine this is not a photograph at all.
Beautiful. That is like a lovely way to take a poem and make it your own, especially when it's about climate. Rooting your climate concerns locally is always so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing.
I have goosebumps.
Yeah. Who would like to share next?
Try to take a funny take on this. Imagine you are looking at a photograph of a city. The city is your Bangalore. The tree line familiar, Cubbon Park, Lalbagh. The sky is grey and cloudy, and you could smell it like petrichor. See the software engineer and the government officer in the photo. Maybe the government officer about to say, in our times, the sky was clear, and the software engineer knows what clear is. Imagine this is not a photograph at all.
Thank you so much for sharing. That was really funny. And rooted in like the history of Bangalore as well. So like, yeah, really, really cool.
Imagine you are looking at a photograph of a city. The city is our which we are polluting. The garbage familiar moving to sea or a ocean. The sky is becoming black and could change it be like blue because we are using a lot of chemicals and factories polluting goes to sky, and it's not, and chemical rain also happen with this.
Thank you. That was really very honest. I really enjoyed that.
Oh, lovely. We have another person sharing their poem. Yeah.
So, because I think we didn't have any solutions in the poetry, my take on it is more to imagine something better. So, and I've done the whole thing actually. Imagine you're looking at a photograph of a city. The city is your Allahabad, Prayagraj. That's where I come from. The place is familiar, Sangam, Chandrasekhar Azad Park. The sky is blue and white, and it looks like it's a beautiful day. See the mother and child in the photo. Maybe the mother is about to say, in our times the sky was a similar blue, and the child knows what it is. Imagine that this is not a photograph at all. See the child play a game outside. You are the mother happily looking at him. The sky is blue and bright. Everything around is green, clean. It's not that trees can't breathe. Birds somersault mid-flight. Reuters report 20 million trees planted in 2017. That people are getting more trees to grow. Meanwhile, nothing burns around Allahabad. No firecrackers or fossil fuels burn. Vehicles spout bare minimum fumes. The Ganga is sparkling and still. Yes, imagine this is not a photograph. Just imagine.
That was amazing. And wouldn't we all love to imagine a Ganga that is sparkling and still?
That was really hopeful.
Yeah.
In our times, the sky was colorful and the mother what red is. Imagine this is not a photograph at all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Nishchita.
Imagine you are looking at a photograph of a city. The city is your beloved Bangalore. The roads familiar to Vidhan Sauda and Kaban Park. The sky is red and orange. You could heat it like charcoal. See the brother and sister in the photo. Maybe the brother is about to say, in our times, the sky was dark blue. And the sister wonder what dark blue is. Imagine that is not a photograph at all.
Thank you, Arfat, for making me imagine what eating charcoal feels like. First time ever. That was amazing.
Imagine you are looking at a photograph of a city. The city is your beloved Bangalore, the famous familiar Wonderla High Court. The city is polluted and dark. You could see it like the color of a charcoal. See the old man and the grandson in the photo. Maybe the old man about to say, in our times, the sky was having white clouds with blue sky, and the grandson imagines what white clouds and blue sky is. Imagine this is not a photograph at all. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll take one or two more responses if anybody else wants to share their writing. Do you want to share?
The city is your beloved Bangalore, the famous familiar Wonderland Kaban Park. The sky is messy and dense. You would smash it like ice cream. See the father and son in the photo. Maybe the son about to say, in our times the sky was very blue, and the son wonder what sky is. Imagine that is not a photograph at all.
Imagine you are looking at a photograph of a city. The city is your imaginary Bangalore. The fruits familiar, guava and mango. The sky is beautiful and bluish. You could see it and like it. See the clouds and birds in the photo. Maybe the citizen about to say, thank you.
That was also really hopeful. Thank you. One last I think we'll take one last response if anyone wants to.
We have one from Pritha.
So I actually did not fill the poem.
That's fine.
I wrote a different poem.
Love it.
If you're okay, should I share it?
We love it.
Okay. So this is called Memory. I just came up with it right now. I have a memory that I filled my heart with the sun. But then it got hot, so I let some rain run. But then it got cold, so I let some Loo pass. Loo is the northern hot wind. Yeah. But for fear my heart would weather, I bought an iron cast. But then I got old, and my memory wore green shrouds of vast bushes that embraced the land. And then I remembered no memory of a green hand on my humble head, so I dreamt instead. Thank you.
I just love how she made it to her own, not by making it a photograph, but rather other forms of reminiscing, like memories and dreams. And what a wonderful take on a photograph. Thank you.
That was gorgeous, and I'm very happy we are ending with that. Unless someone else wants to share. No? Okay, thank you so much for interacting with us.
Yeah, I really want to thank you all immensely for engaging with this interactive session so enthusiastically. And it was really such a pleasure for Meenakshi and me both to see such a variety of poems from like the adults as well as the kids. And we got to see so many different perspectives on our one shared concern, which is the future of our climate. So thank you all for letting Meenakshi and I be a part of your evening tonight. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Gauri and Meenakshi, for that creative session. And a huge thank you to all audience members for sharing your words and thoughts for the planet. Your poems are a powerful reminder that each of us has a unique voice in this conversation about climate change. And through art, we can all make a difference. I request Jay to please hand a small token of our appreciation to Gauri and Meenakshi. Thank you, Jay. Now we'll take a short 15-minute tea break where you can relax, grab some refreshments, and take a moment to explore the art created by our eARTh Climate Fellows, including sculptures, interactive audio and video experiences, and games. Also, if you're interested in eARTh, our coffee table book, please leave your email addresses and phone numbers at the registration desk. Now we move on to a very special and thought-provoking session where we'll be screening videos recorded by climate change survivors. These videos capture the real stories of resilience, hardship, and hope, offering us a powerful glimpse into the lived experiences of those directly affected by the climate crisis. To have a clearer view of the screen, I request people in the front rows to please move higher. This session is facilitated by the Tata Institute of Social Sciences and supported by the Alumni Engagement Innovation Fund USA. After the screening, we'll have a Q&A session with our esteemed panel. I welcome on stage Professor Manjula Bharati from TISS, Ms. Sheila Sajeev Kumar, a climate change survivor, Ms. Dhanyajay Santosh, also a climate change survivor, and Mr. Srijit Ramanan, theatre artist and director, who has helped shape this project by leading the community theatre landscape in Kerala. Professor Bharati, please.
Thank you so much. Let me also invite my friends, Sheila and Dhanija and Srijit Ramanan. Yeah. Thank you so much. So let me first start by expressing my deep sense of gratitude to Sri Rekha Pillai for inviting me to this function. And why this deep sense of gratitude? Because me being an academician, it's quite common for us to have the seminars, webinars, and presentation. But unlike other seminars and webinars, I feel a crowd which is quite different, talking climate change in a different fashion, and talking climate change, asking people to converse emotionally, which is very interesting for me. And it gives me a sense of hope for the place where I'm standing in. And that is what it is all about, because we all need to be hopeful about the future, and connecting emotionally is a very interesting code that we can have for the future conversations if we need to take climate change in a serious mode. Yeah, now, coming, we will have, first how I'm going to engage with you is first we will be having 5 minutes snippets of the documentary that we have done. The documentary is Climate Resilience, Life as Told by Women. And then after that, we will have a PowerPoint presentation which discusses about it. And in that PowerPoint presentation, Srirekha specifically asked me to be not speaking in an academic language. I try my level best not to speak in an academic language. But if I step into that parlors of academic language, I may be excused. That is a usual way that we keep our living. And secondly, after that, we will end with the 4 documentaries, 1-2 minutes documentaries, small videos made by them. And then we will have the question answer sessions. So that's it. And so we have with us, before we start, I would like to introduce, we have Dr. Srijit Ramanan. He is the director of the School of Drama there in Kerala, a person that, we work in this project, we work with Srijit to come out with this theatre, and he directed the theatre in continuous engagement with the community, different experiences coming out with the climate change experiences, which is quite different, and the book speaks about it, and then we can see about it. And then we have Sheila representing, community mapping, and she's a very strong volunteer, our friend. And whatever happening there, we always goes to Sheila and says that, Sheila, this is it, and she always responds it. And we have Danyaja, a person from community video. So we have the 3 community expressions that we have going for this, that is community theatre, community video, and community mapping. So we have the representatives from that 3 sections, and with that, we will start with a small screening, a snippet of the documentary that you can see right now. Thank you so much, and please, the documentary.
ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു 17-18 ചാനലുകാർ ഇവിടെ വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. വന്നിട്ട് എല്ലാവരും പറയുന്നതെന്ന് വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ശരി നമുക്ക് ശരിയാക്കണ്ട, പിന്നെ അത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അവർ പോവും, പിന്നെ വേറൊരു ചേരും വരും. എനിക്കതല്ല, വേറൊന്നുമില്ല. മരിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഈ വെള്ളത്തിലാരും വരും, അവരവിടെ വന്ന് നിന്ന് വിടുക. നാരായണം മരിച്ച ശരി എന്നാ പിന്നെ അങ്ങനെ ആയിട്ടെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ അവരങ്ങോട്ട് പോവും.
ആളുകൾ പോണേണ്, പാലായനം ചെയ്ത് പോണേന് കൊടുക്കും. 10 ലക്ഷം രൂപ വെച്ച് കുറെ പേര് കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഞങ്ങളെങ്ങാട് മാറ്റണമെന്ന് ഒരു 10 ലക്ഷം രൂപ തരാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാല് സ്ഥലം കിട്ടൂല അതിനുള്ള.
ഒരേറ്റം കയറിയാലും എന്ത് കയറിയിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിലും ദുരിതത്തിന്റെ പാടാണ്.
സ്കൂളടച്ചാലൊന്നും പിള്ളേർക്ക് ഇവിടെ നിൽക്കാൻ പറ്റൂല. വെക്കേഷൻ ആയിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിലും നമുക്ക് വേനൽ മഴ പെയ്താലും വെള്ളമൊന്നും പുറത്തു പോകൂല.
മഴ പെയ്തതിൻ്റെ അകത്തൊക്കെ വെള്ളം കയറും. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ കിടക്കാൻ ഒന്നും പറ്റണില്ല. വീടും ഇല്ല. ഇത് ഇടിഞ്ഞ് മാവ് വീണ് എൻ്റെ പുറത്ത് വീണിട്ട് വെട്ടിക്കളയിച്ച് 12 മാസവും വെള്ളം തന്നെയാണ്. വെള്ളത്തിലാണ്. ഇപ്പം ഏറ്റം കയറി തുടങ്ങിയാണ്, കയറാൻ തുടങ്ങിയാണ് വെള്ളം മുറ്റത്തോട്ട്. എന്തൊരു ജീവിതമാണ്, എന്തൊരു ജന്മമാണ് എൻ്റെ ആയിപ്പോയത്. ഇതിങ്ങനെ എല്ലാവരും വന്നു ചോദിച്ചും കണ്ടും പോയി. വല്ല ഇതും നടക്കുമോ? ഞാൻ തന്നെ ഇരുന്ന് നോക്കണേ, മരിക്കണേനുള്ളിൽ ഇതൊന്നും നടക്കില്ല.
കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി മാപ്പിംഗ്, കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി തിയേറ്റർ, കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി വീഡിയോ എന്ന 3 കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി എക്സ്പ്രഷൻസിലൂടെയുള്ള ഒരു
പരിഹാര നിർദ്ദേശ മാർഗങ്ങൾ സ്ത്രീകളുടെ കൂട്ടായ്മയിലൂടെ നടത്തുന്ന ആദ്യത്തെ പരീക്ഷണമെന്ന് നമുക്ക് ഈ ഒരു പ്രൊജക്റ്റിനെ നോക്കിക്കാണാവുന്നതാണ്.
ഞാൻ ഒരു നേരം തൊഴിലുറപ്പ് തൊഴിലാളിയായിരിക്കും, ഒരു നേരം റോഡ് പണിക്കാരിയായിരിക്കും, ചിലപ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനെ പഞ്ചായത്തിൻ്റെ എന്തെങ്കിലും പരിപാടി മീറ്റിങ്ങിൽ, പിന്നെ നമ്മുടെ ഹരിതകേരള മിഷൻ്റെ പരിപാടിയിൽ ഞാനുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. മറ്റേ ആ പാട്ടാണ് ഓർമ്മ തന്നെ, വേഷങ്ങൾ ജന്മങ്ങൾ വേഷം മാറാൻ നിമിഷം.
ഞാൻ ഇന്ന് വരെ ഒരു വേദി എന്താണെന്ന് ഞാൻ അറിഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല. ഈ 62 വയസ്സിനിടക്ക് ആദ്യമായിട്ടാണ് ഞാൻ ഒരു വേദിയിലേക്ക് വരുന്നത്. ഞാൻ ഇന്നും അടുക്കളയിൽ ഒതുങ്ങി കൂടിയിരുന്നാണ്. ഇപ്പം ഈ ഉപ്പുവെള്ളത്തിൻ്റെ പേരിലാണ് ഞാൻ ഇത് മറ്റുള്ളവർക്ക് വേണ്ടിയും കൂടിയാണ് ഞാൻ ഈ ഇറങ്ങിയാക്കുന്നത്. ഇത് എല്ലാവർക്കും ഒരു അറിവിലേക്കും ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള അനുഭവങ്ങൾ ഞങ്ങൾ അനുഭവിക്കുന്നുണ്ടെന്നുള്ളത് എല്ലാവരും അറിയണം. അതിനു വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് ഞങ്ങൾ ഈ നാടകത്തിൻ്റെ ഇതിലേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങിയാക്കുന്നത്.
ഇതിപ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ ഇളയച്ചൻ്റെ വീടാണ്. ഇളയച്ചൻ്റെ വീടെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഇവിടെ ഫ്രണ്ടിൽ തന്നെ തോടായതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ഇപ്പം വെള്ളം കയറി നല്ല ഉപ്പുള്ള ഏരിയ ആയതുകൊണ്ട് ഇതൊക്കെ തെള്ളി ഭിത്തിയൊക്കെ തെള്ളി പോയി മൊത്തം വൃത്തികേടായ ഒരു കണ്ടീഷൻ. ഇവിടെ വെള്ളം കയറി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു സ്ഥലത്തേക്ക് നീങ്ങി കിടക്കാൻ പോലും പറ്റാത്തൊരു കണ്ടീഷൻ. എപ്പോൾ വേണമെങ്കിലും ഓടി വീഴാം. കഴിഞ്ഞ ഒരിക്കൽ ഇതുപോലെ ഫാൻ കെട്ടിയിരുന്നത് പോന്ന് ഇളച്ചിൻ്റെ മേത്താണ് വീണത്. ഭാഗ്യത്തിനൊന്നും സംഭവിച്ചില്ല, പക്ഷെ കണ്ടീഷൻ അത്രയും മോശമായ ഒരു അവസ്ഥയാണ്.
ഷൂട്ട് ചെയ്ത വീട് ഏതാ?
ഷൂട്ട് ചെയ്തത്
ഈ വീട് തന്നെ അല്ലേ?
ഈ മൊബൈൽ ഫോൺ വന്നതോടുകൂടി ഈ മീഡിയ കുറേ കൂടി ജനകീയമായി. അവർക്ക് പറയാനുള്ള കഴിവുണ്ട്. ആ കഴിവ് ഉപയോഗിക്കാനൊരു അവസരം കിട്ടുന്നത് അവർ ശരിക്കും ഉപയോഗപ്പെടുത്തുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ് വാസ്തവം.
എൻ്റെ പേര് ലിൻഡ ബെന്നി. ഞാൻ ഏലിക്കര ഗ്രാമപഞ്ചായത്ത് 4-ാം വാർഡിൽ നിന്നും സർവേ, അതായത് വേലിയേറ്റം വെള്ളപ്പൊക്കത്തിൻ്റെ സർവേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങിയതാണ്. ഇപ്പം ഞാൻ നിൽക്കുന്നത് 11-ാം വാർഡ് കടക്കര രമണിയമ്മയുടെ വീട്ടിലാണ് ഞാൻ നിൽക്കുന്നത്. ഈ ഉപ്പുവെള്ളം കയറിയിട്ട് ഇതുപോലെ തെള്ളി പോകുന്ന ഒരു രീതിയാണ് ഈ വീടിൻ്റെ അവസ്ഥ. കണ്ടോ, ജനലുകളൊന്നുമില്ല, ചാക്ക് വെച്ച് മറച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു അവസ്ഥയാണിത്. അന്ന് അമ്മച്ചി നിർബന്ധിച്ചാണ് ഞങ്ങളെ ഇങ്ങോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുവന്നത് അല്ലേ? തൊഴിലുറപ്പ് കഴിഞ്ഞിറങ്ങിയ സമയത്ത് കണ്ടതാണ്. അതെ, തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും മനസ്സിലാവില്ല. പക്ഷേ അന്നത്തേക്കാൾ ഇത്തിരി കൂടി രൂക്ഷമാണ്.
10 സെൻറ്റ് കുടികിടപ്പ് കിട്ടിയാണ് 70-ൽ. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് വെള്ളപ്പൊക്കമൊന്നും ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല. ഇങ്ങനെ വെള്ളം കൂടാൻ തുടങ്ങിയിട്ട് 10 കൊല്ലമായി. ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ 13-ാം വാർഡിൽ ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ വെള്ളം കയറി കിടക്കുന്ന സ്ഥലമാണ്. ഞങ്ങളുടെ രണ്ടാളുടെയും കാലാവസ്ഥ കഴിഞ്ഞിരിക്കുകയാണ്. കാരണം എന്ന് വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഈ ചറം തീർന്ന പിന്നെ റബ്ബറാണ്. അതിനിഞ്ഞ് നനച്ചാലും പിന്നെ വളമിട്ടാലും ചറം വരില്ല. അപ്പം ഞങ്ങൾ രണ്ടും നോക്കണ്ട, ഞങ്ങളുടെ മക്കളില്ലേ, എൻ്റെ പേരക്കുട്ടികൾ 3 പേരുണ്ട്. ആ 3 പേരുടെ നാളേക്ക് അവർക്ക് നാളെ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു ദിവസം അവർക്കുണ്ട്, ഞങ്ങൾക്കില്ല. ആ നാളെ എന്നുള്ളൊരു ദിവസത്തേക്ക് അവരെ എത്തിക്കണം.
ഞാൻ ആ വീഡിയോ കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോഴും ആ അതിൻ്റെ മാപ്പിൻ്റെ പ്രസൻറ്റേഷൻ കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോഴും ഞാൻ വളരെ അത്ഭുതത്തോടു കൂടിയാണ് ഞാൻ നിന്നത്. ഈ പ്രദേശത്തിൻ്റെ അതിജീവന സാധ്യതകൾക്ക് മുന്നോട്ട് നയിക്കാനുള്ളത് ഇവർ തന്നെയാണെന്ന് എനിക്ക് പൂർണ്ണമായിട്ടും എനിക്കൊരു വിശ്വാസം കിട്ടി, ഒരു പ്രതീക്ഷ കിട്ടി എന്നുള്ളതാണ്.
So this is a 58 minutes documentary. So just for your information, we have made a snippet of 5 minutes. Would like to have the PowerPoint, please. Thank you. So we are starting with this, this project, and why this project, and what we have done in this project, and what is the ideological underpinnings that whenever we are saying about it, is also important to see that where we are and what is the positionality that we have taken to explore and understand this climate resilience of this community, coastal community, because we were working with the coastal community, what were the issues there, and what are the differences we were trying to bring into the project as different from the usual understanding of the climate change discourses. Yeah, please. So then, can we have the first slide? Yeah. So this is the global average temperature, and all the technicians, that we always keep on saying about, 1.5, the Paris Protocol, it is important to understand. And then how the temperature, everyone is saying temperature is increasing, and how can we keep the temperature within the limit is always the discussion and the discourses. And with that rising temperature, the climate change, one of the manifested results of the climate change is the rising temperature. And that itself, in this coastal area, the rising sea level is one of the reasons for the high tide, which was actually happening once in a year. Now it is becoming a daily phenomenon, 24/7, water logging into the houses, knee filled with water. So now, this sea change, rise in sea change is making this high tide, and that is becoming an everyday phenomenon in their lives. That is important. Next slide, please. So this is, that if you're looking at, how the whole changes of, climate change, if you're looking at the anthropogenic ways of, man-made disaster, if you're taking, climate change disasters as, earthquakes and then floods and cyclones, comparing that with earthquake, then you can see that the frequency of that floods and cyclones are increasing, and there is a huge level of discussions and debates happening. Is it because of the climate change these natural hazards are on an increasing range of across the longitudinal directions? Next slide, please. So now, when we are looking, one more click would be appreciable. So then the whole question about why should we discuss about, one more click would be appreciable. So climate migration, why the climate change, So the climate change increases the human mobility, and then the whole question that we are speaking about is climate refugees, and then the whole question of who are the person who are environmentally displaced. So we are looking at the question of displacement. We are looking at the question of climate refugees. We are looking at the question of climate justice, and what can we do for this process is something, what should be the adaptation process is something that we would like to see. Next slide, please. So this is if you're looking at this, when the whole world is looking at this, we know that starting from 1992 to the recent COP agreement, then we have multiple levels of international agreement, Kyoto agreement, Paris agreement, all this kind of agreement was saying about different law framework, how much that is feasible. I'm not going into that discussion right now, but there is a United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, which speaks about multiple agreements, and I'm not going detail into that. Next slide, please. So now the whole question is about climate change, habitus, and habitat. So what is this, habitat? When you're saying climate change is a polycrisis. We know that climate crisis is a technical issue. Climate crisis is a scientific issue. Climate crisis is an economic issue. Climate crisis is a political issue. Climate crisis is a social issue. So climate crisis is a polycrisis issue. And why? Because, habitat is the place that we are inhabiting, that the place where we are inhabiting. And the moment we are saying about habitat, then we know that the habitat also has a materiality to it, It speaks about the place, suppose we are looking from the agricultural time to the information age, the habitat is changing. From the agricultural period to the industrial period to the information period, the habitat is changing. So economically, socially, politically, culturally, the habitat on which we are standing is changing. So habitat is important, and it's also important to understand that habitat temporally, historically, and culturally. It is important because, if you are looking at the habitat from 2000 or 100 years or 500 years before and what it is now, historically we are trying to understand. Like some of the students were saying about the poem over here,
then, like, what was it, and what my, like, what is the future speaks about it. So temporally we are trying to see, and temporally how the space is changing. So spatially we are trying to understand the changes, and also the whole understanding of historical, everything need to be rooted in a history. What was the history, and where the history started changing, why the history started changing, what caused the history to change. All these are important to understand it. So the changes in the course of the trajectory, and to make, what should we do to make this changes in a sustainable mode is very important. And the second word that used is habitus. So habitat, in that way, the place where we live, simply. Habitus is what? It's again a very theoretical premise, but I would like to make it very simple. It's a Bourdieuian concept. What does it mean? It means, the social practices, cultural practices, political practices, economic practices of the people we are. Suppose we are looking at an agricultural age. The social practices, economic practices, cultural practices of the people are quite different from an industrial age. And it is quite different from an information age. So every time the habitus, the social practices are changing, so climate change is also a resultant of the change in the socio-economic practices. Look at our mobility ratios, look at the fossils, look at our fuel consumption. So everything is changing, so the climate change is also a resultant of this change in the habitus. And then the habitants, we are the habitants, the flora and fauna, the habitants, and how that has been affected by the habitat, changing habitat, and also changing the habitus, which is the socio-economic. Actually, the socio-economic cultural practices of the people, the species, are making changes in the habitat, which in turn changes the nature of the habitat. So it is important, a critical understanding of this habitat is important when we are trying to understand the climate change discourse. Next slide, please. So if you're looking at that, just look at that planet size, this is like we are actually living in a very, very limited habitable space. And how interestingly we are changing even that small habitable space into inhabitable space. So interesting. So what are the anthropogenic factors that makes this habitable space into inhabitable space? Can we claim that back? Is it possible for us to claim that back? And if so, what should we do? It's some interesting questions that we need to ask. Next slide, please. So if you're looking at the present day crisis, I feel it is three intersecting problems. One is the biodiversity loss. The continuously everyone is speaking about it. Where are the birds? Where are the sea? Where are the ocean? Where are the waters? So we are speaking about the biodiversity loss. And then inequality. That is the most important thing. Income inequality, social inequality, ethnic inequality, gender inequality. Look at that. The inequality is there. So deep base of inequality. And that, that even now the present report says about the high range, like India is the second highest after Afghanistan. If you're looking at the income inequality level, the recent report has come, very interesting, so that makes the vulnerable positions, urban vulnerability. The recent report has now released. And then the climate change. So we have to look the climate change from these pedestals of how this inequality at multiple levels, and how the biodiversity loss and how it is affecting the climate change. Next slide, please. So I feel, as I cannot escape from this. I strongly feel that the climate crisis has something to do with the whole capitalistic accumulation, the neoliberal governmentality, neoliberal ways in which, the liberalization policies is very, very important to bring that capitalistic assumption to it, and says that it is important to look the capitalistic accumulation, how we are becoming from the producers to consumers. All of us are in a consumeristic spaces. So from the production, if you're looking at, agrarian spaces, we are all producers. But from the production, now we are in the consumerist society, and we are happy to embrace the consumerism. So how that shift in that I will come to that next, like governmentality, the mentality that governs us, that from the producers to the consumers, how it is changing the climate and affecting the climate change discourses. And there's a strong capitalistic
reason for that. 150 years of carbon extraction and fossil fuel, 500 years of human and ecosystem destruction, facing species extinction, one degree increase plus more. India locks, if you're looking at the food system, if you're looking at the water system crisis, if you're looking at the resource peak, and one side you can see, that is what I said, one side there's a peak of resources. We have, Ambani's, spending 5,000 or more for the one marriage. And then we have, like other group of people, we are not even having enough food, like I'm saying that last time when I went to a place for our field work, they say they're very happy because they're not having the water shortage. They're getting 2 hours of water in a week twice. And they say that they're very happy. That is the level in which we are making the marginal section of people to be contemplated in the way of happiness, that they're feeling happy, they're getting water twice a week, 2 hours. And they say they have no water crisis. This is how, the new governmentality is bringing up. Yeah. So, and then the ecocidal logic of capitalism. What is ecocidal logic of capitalism? That means accumulation of profit. Profit maximization giving priority over environment. So we will always say that, okay, there is always a split between the development people and then the environmental people. And I'm not saying that, okay, completely agreeing with everything, but somewhere we have to give importance to the EIA process. We have to give the SIA process, that's very important. So how the capital logic is giving importance to the prevailing over the environmental factors. And so it is a historic and contextual category. Next slide, please. So this is very, very important for me, like little theory, but I would like to bring that. Why? And this is a very interesting Foucauldian understanding, but I would like to use it, because I'm taking class, quite common for me to move like that. Sorry. So this whole question is that, is the mic working now? Yeah? Yeah. So this is a Foucauldian understanding. See, everything that we are saying now, we should understand it from the history. It is important to place the present, see the present from the history. So it says about, that archaeology of the present. When we are saying about it, archaeology is always about the past, but we have to do the archaeology of the present. What is the history of the present? And then we have to see about the future of the present. So the moment we are missing that link between the past, present, and the future, then we are in a problem, because we try to see future as a different, distinct category, present as a distinct category, and history as the continuum of the history, the present, and the future will give us, like where we are leading, how we are leading, where we are going. And it's a very important, interesting question. That is why we say it is important to understand the archaeology of the present. And then someone was saying about here, I think the executive director was saying about it is important to understand that there is a consciousness. He is rightly saying, there is no dearth of knowledge, there's no dearth of information. People have the information. And so, what is that information gives you? Information gives you the consciousness. But that consciousness is not enough. And now, there's another interesting author that speaks about, that you have to have, Paulo Freire. He says that you should have a conscientization. What is it? Consciousness and readiness to act on that consciousness. That is what makes the consciousness different. So what now we have, we have the information, we are conscious about certain things. But what is more important is to readiness to act on that consciousness, to make a structural changes into the spaces, to make a transformative changes into the places. So it is important. That is what we call conscientization. Consciousness and action on that consciousness, then you have a critical consciousness, because you are ready to act on your consciousness. That is what they're saying, that is a hegemonic consciousness. What is it that, like hegemony in simple terms, and ideology through socialization becomes a common sense. See, ideology, climate change is not for us. It's an ideology, Climate change is, like affecting everyone. No, I'm not thinking, climate change affects different people differently. So there is an ideology that speaks that climate change is affecting everyone equally. No. So that is an ideology that catering to the powerful people
And through the continuous use of socialization, through everyday practice, that ideology becomes a common sense. That is hegemony. How the ideas that is catering to the vested interest to the powerful group through everyday usage becomes a common sense. So gender is a hegemony. Women does not have the decision-making power. Women are not able to understand things. Women are less intelligent. It's a hegemony. Through continuous usage, how then it becomes a common sense. So climate change discourse, it is, it's a scientific thing. So the scientists need to speak about climate change. For me, it's a hegemony. The first affected persons like them need to speak. The marginal people need to speak. The people who have been affected their daily life need to speak. So we need to deconstruct this hegemony around the climate change and to have a counter hegemony discourses. Next slide, please. So this is, every day, if you're looking at a society is de-democratized. And we are subtly and passively accepting this de-democratization. We are not questioning the things that is happening on us, the things that has been affecting our daily life. And that is, there is an idea, there is an institution and a practice. But there is a lot of difference between an idea and a practice. Why this divergence is happening? We need to question these differences. Why an institution is institutionalized to make an idea, and there is a difference between that idea and practice. Yeah. Next slide, please. So that is now the most important part, that we are all sitting here. I feel that, okay, all of us are producing knowledge from different directions. But I do strongly feel that this knowledge, most of this knowledge are coming from the white, able-bodied men. White becoming a colonial case, a race case. Abled body, that means a differently able body is not taken. And then men. So there is a colonial construction, there is a race construction, there is a patriarchal construction, and also I feel in climate change, there is a scientific and a technological construction. Because climate change, scientists need to speak about climate change. So that also we need to deconstruct. So then what happened is that this knowledge that we are producing, what happened is that is what we called knowledge, and that knowledge itself become violent because it's not addressing the issue of the most marginalized section of the society. So that knowledge becomes violent, that is we call epistemic violence. So knowledge is basically to give fair deals to everyone. But that knowledge itself is becoming violent because that knowledge is catering to the vested interest of only few sections of society of people, and where they're completely not looking at the marginalized section. So there is an epistemic violence. There is a violence, and in climate change discourses is very much prevalent because the voice of the people, first affected people, are hardly heard in the climate change discourse, and they are the most marginalized people. They are the climate refugees. They are the, so this is one, I'm saying about governmentality, how the mentalities governed by a different set of things. And so the whole thing I'm saying about, it is important to look at the politics of absence of the marginalized in the climate change discourses. How can we make it present? That is very important. Next slide. Social vulnerability is important. Climate resilience is important. Next slide. I think denial of any right is poverty. If I don't have the right to move, then I am poor. If I don't have the right to do the education I need, I'm poor. So you have to understand poverty from a right-based perspective. Denial of any right become, can you click it again, please? Right-based approach, click it again once more. Human right protection, prevail economic interest, which is very important, and this is very important when you're trying to understand from the climate change. Next slide. Next slide. So this project, I'll end it here. So we try to understand this project through 3 interventions. That is, one is community mapping, one is community video, and one is community theatre. Community mapping, we trained the women through 5 different methods of participatory research methodology. I'm not going to say about it. Time analysis, time ratio analysis, historical analysis, COBAB analysis. So we have trained them continuously for 6 months, and then they started making the mapping of the areas. And then that gives a counter data sets to us, counter historical data set to us, counter spatial data set to us, counter data of that particular facilities and services around us. So that gives us a very interesting data set, which is different from the normative macro data. Next slide, please. So the community video, we have given them mobile camera to them so that they can make 2 to 3 minutes of the video around them so that they can see it, and then that actually subverting the usual way of capturing the people from an outsider. They themselves are speaking about their stories, and it is important. It gives a different perspective altogether. So the mainstream thing has been changed. The last one is the community theatre. Srijati here, because it was a huge kind of success to us. We have trained the community people to do the theatre, to do the scripting, and they themselves perform for the first time. And then that was, like in a stage half filled with water to transcend that feeling. And then that theatre was selected in one of the theatres that has been in the 13 theatres at the national level. So this community people went to Delhi and performed there. And then, so that is a very interesting process that they started telling about their own stories. The last slide. So this is my, I would like to end. What is important here, instead of women, you can say community. What community know and how community live. It is not speaking with each other. They are always divergent. So community has a repository of knowledge. Community has a local knowledge, indigenous knowledge. So we need to, one more. Yeah. So what we need is that we need what is their knowledge and what is the knowledge of the community. We need them to speak with each other to understand this new dimension. Then we can make the last slide. Yeah. The coastal community. Just before that, this gives them a voice and an agency. This is give them a participatory data, right-based interventions, making them informed subject citizens, bringing gender justice and justice to the marginal, new governmentality to the community resilient network of the marginalized. So we now have launched a new site, that is Women in Climate Action Network, where the important perspective of that is to bring in the subaltern knowledge, that is a knowledge that is not there in the mainstream, through the community, and then try to understand that, to understand the climate change through the voices of the people. That is it. Thank you so much. Questions are there.
So as a part of the interventions, like, do they have access to the early warning systems? Early warning systems through the mobile app use. Did you conduct any capacity building programs like that?
Journalist here. So usually you raised a very valid point. The relevance of community media is that people from the community document their own stories as opposed to an outsider's media coming and filming. And even in the documentary, there was a person mentioning that there repeatedly media have come and interviewed them. So I want to ask her the reaction of the community themselves when she films their issues, how they react as opposed to an external media entity when they film it. Has she seen any differences?
Got the point.
How's her?
I think she's not able to gauge that question that you're asking. She's saying that, okay, they're equally cooperative. But I could very well say that, okay, the difference was very much there. Because then, the everyday lives, which we were completely not looking into that everyday life. For example, the newborn baby that has been born, he's not getting space to crawl. Because it is all knee filled with water, so the baby is not able to crawl. So that, like any person outsider coming is not getting this kind of inside picture of that. So they are able to take that and bringing it into this. So that is the different reality, vivid reality that they're bringing into the mainstream difference. That is not discussed the other way around. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, my question is to, anyone can answer. So what is the solution, or what is the what is the aftermath of your study or of their, their activism? I'd like to hear from them, actually.
നമ്മുടെ ദുരിതങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഈ വീഡിയോയും മാപ്പിങ്ങും ഒക്കെ കലണ്ടറിൽ വെള്ളപ്പൊക്കത്തിൻ്റെ ഇതൊക്കെ രേഖപ്പെടുത്തി കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ അതിനെ നമ്മുടെ ടാറ്റ ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ടൊക്കെ ഒരു ഈ ദുരിതങ്ങളെക്കുറിച്ചൊക്കെ ഉള്ളൊരു രൂപരേഖ അവിടെ നടക്കുന്ന ഓരോ ദുരന്തങ്ങളെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള ഒരു രൂപരേഖ സർക്കാരിനെ ഏൽപ്പിച്ച്
അതിൻ്റെ പേരിൽ പഞ്ചായത്തൊക്കെ ഇപ്പോൾ സംരക്ഷണ ഭിത്തി കെട്ടി കുറച്ച് പുനരധിവാസ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ തുടങ്ങിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. പിന്നെ വെള്ളപ്പൊക്കം മൂലം തകർന്ന റോഡുകളൊക്കെ നന്നാക്കാനുള്ള പരിശ്രമങ്ങളൊക്കെ ആരംഭിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ അതൊക്കെ ഒരു നേട്ടമായിട്ട് നമ്മൾ കണക്കാക്കണം.
See, one of the things that she's saying about these interventions, one, the local self-governance institutions, both at the local level, block level and the district level, they are earmarking specific fund, first time for these interventions, that is Crisis Management Fund and Crisis Innovation Fund, they are innovating. And District Management Fund, District Collector has earmarked 2 crore for the high-tech intervention. And moreover, this they used to show these videos to the ward members, you know, and then the fences have been made, the new roads have been made, toilets have been made. So very small interventions at the local level started coming in using this video as a data.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for sharing the stories, and thank you to them also for sharing their experiences. My question is there something that we can do, you know, as citizens who live in an urban area, other than, of course, share their story, but what can we do to help?
You can be part of the We Can. Okay, right. Because we already started, and that is going to launch in this October 2nd. That is Women in Climate Action Network. There we are also expressing, you know, our desire to get the voluntary kind of, you know, help from the students or the community or the youth would like to come there, whatever way, you know. And then we are having our thing, so you can be a part of We Can and make a change. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I have a question that, are we taking any initiative for the children? I mean, I have seen school children or the small children who want to be the part of the initiative, but I have not seen any action or program for these school children so that we can, you know, raise them in a more sophisticated manner for the environment. Is there any initiative or action which we have taken for them?
Yeah, see, you know, like this work has been actually initiated with the help of the Kudumbasri network, if you hear about it. Kudumbasri is one of the largest women collectives in the world, with 43 million women as the part of the network. So it is the largest women-based network in the world. And we have, as a part of the Kudumbasri, we also something called a Bala Sabha, that, you know, like that the collectives of the children there, you know, and basically to help them for the informal education. So here we are planning to integrate with the Bala Sabha is there in each ward. So we are planning to integrate, it is a very functional system. So planning to integrate them there, you know, like that to have better understanding of the climate tools, you know, like climate, the different ways in which, you know, like they try to see the sea, they try to understand the rivers, they try to understand various, explore different climate issues. So different things are happening with Balasabha. That is an informal learning groups, which is very, very active with the government fund. So we will be integrating with them soon with that. Yeah.
Manjula, we'll take one last question before we wrap up.
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here. So what I would want to ask you is that in your presentation, you had mentioned that the discourse on climate change is also rooted in hegemony and inequality. So right now we have this idea becoming very popular of climate change adaptation and not mitigation. So do you believe that this is also somewhere a capitalist ploy, like, you know, to continue with consumerism? Or do you think that climate change adaptation is a harsh reality that we have to accept and there's nothing we can do to go back to the way things once were?
Interesting question. See, the whole question, you know, like that any anti-establishment regime which has been started, you know, against the establishment, in the due course becomes establishment, is an accepted terrain of, you know, so many discourses. How an anti-establishment, the due course of time is a part of establishment. So now, you know, like, see, then the whole question is that, okay, we are either left with 2 options. Either thinking that, okay, this is all fatalistic and we are not able to do anything to that. And now the second question is that, what should be the agency? What should be the things, you know, where the adaptation for me, because I'm looking at it from an adaptive perspective, adaptation, coping capacity, adaptive capacity, what is the stress, what is the hazard, what is the ways in which, you know, like we can minimalize this so that they can at least not bouncing back to the same space, but at least, you know, minimal impact the people having with their voice and agency. So at least the tomorrow's group, or tomorrow's generation will have something to say on the climate change discourses, rather than being on the culture of silence, being looped back into the culture of silence, will be having a subject citizens in the climate change discourses is most important thing, that breaking that culture of silence is what we're thinking. And your question is equally valid, but I think with the optimistic view, I take this other way around and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Manjula. Manjula, before you go, I think we'll just play that other video.
One.
Yeah.
Please.
Sheenu,
this is the video that they have made. Please see that. Thank you.
എൻ്റെ പേര് രമണി. ഭർത്താവിൻ്റെ പേര് മനോഹരൻ. മരിച്ച ആള്. അമ്മച്ചി ഇപ്പം എത്ര നാളായി അമ്മച്ചി ഇവിടെ താമസിക്കുന്നത്? ഒരു 45 കൊല്ലമെങ്കിലും ആയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പം അമ്മച്ചി ആരൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട് ഇവിടെ? ഞാനും ഈ മോളും ഉണ്ട്. പിന്നെ ഞാൻ തന്നെ തൂമ്പൊക്കെ ഇങ്ങനെ വാരി വെക്കും. അതും വെള്ളം വരുമ്പോൾ പോകും, ഒലിച്ചു പോകും. അങ്ങനെയാണ് ഈ ഒരു അവസ്ഥയിൽ. സങ്കടപ്പെടണ്ട, നമുക്കിതിനെല്ലാം ഒരു പരിഹാരം ഉണ്ടാവും കേട്ടോ. വിഷമിക്കാണ്ടിരിക്കേ. പറഞ്ഞോളൂ അച്ഛാ, എന്താണ് സംഭവിക്കുന്നതെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞോളൂ.
ഇതിപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ വന്നേ അന്ന് പോലും ഇങ്ങനെ വെള്ളം കയറാറുണ്ട്. കല്ല് കെട്ടിയിട്ട് പണ്ടങ്ങനെ കല്ല് കെട്ടിയതാണ്. എല്ലാ കൊല്ലം ഇങ്ങനെ വാടക വെക്കും ഞാൻ. അത് വെള്ളം വരുമ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ പോയി. ഇപ്പം ഇന്ന് മുറ്റം മുങ്ങി കിടന്നിട്ട് ഞാൻ വാടക വെക്കണം ഒന്നും കൂടി.
അടുക്കള മൊത്തം നിറഞ്ഞു. ചവിട്ടിയൊക്കെ ഒഴുകിപ്പോയി കിടക്കാൻ നോക്കി. ഇത്തിരി കൂടി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ പെരക്കകത്തോട്ട് വെള്ളം കയറുന്നേ. ഇവിടം വരെ എത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ട്.
കടക്കര 11-ാം വാർഡിലെ ഒരു വീടും ഇതേ അവസ്ഥ തന്നെ നമ്മൾ അനുഭവിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. വെള്ളം ഇറങ്ങിപ്പോയിട്ട് നനവ് പോലും മാറിയിട്ടില്ല അതിൻ്റെ.
എല്ലാ ദിവസവും വെള്ളം കയറുന്ന കാരണം പിള്ളേരൊന്നും വെള്ളത്തിൽ മുറ്റത്തേക്ക് ഇറക്കാനോ ഒന്നും പറ്റൂല. പിന്നെയാണെങ്കിൽ ബാത്റൂം എത്ര കോരിയാലും പിന്നെ അത് നിറയും. എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ വെള്ളം വന്നാൽ അതിൽ കയറി നിറയണേന്ന്. അപ്പം അതൊക്കെ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടാണ്.
പൊന്നു മക്കളെ, ഇതാണ് ഗതി. എനിക്കൊന്നും നടക്കാൻ പറ്റാത്ത ഞാൻ വീട്ടിലെ നാഥനാണ്. ഞാൻ നടക്കാൻ പറ്റുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ കയ്യും കാലും പിടിച്ച് ആരെങ്കിലും പിടിച്ച് ഇതൊന്ന് കെട്ടിച്ചാണ്.
വെള്ളം ഇങ്ങനെ കയറി അവിടെ ഒരു വശം ഇങ്ങനെ ഇടിഞ്ഞു പോയി. പിന്നെ ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് അപ്പുറത്തുനിന്ന് അങ്ങോട്ട് മണ്ണ് മുഴുവൻ ഒഴുകി അതും പോയി. പിന്നെ സഹായിക്കാനായിട്ട് അവർ കൂട്ടുകാരന്മാരെന്തെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യും. അത് ഞങ്ങളുടെ താൽക്കാലികമായ ഇതേ ഉള്ളൂ. മോനെ മരിച്ചും പോയി. വേറെ ഒരു ഇതില്ല. ചേട്ടന് വയ്യാത്തതാണ്. എനിക്കും ഇപ്പോൾ കഴിഞ്ഞ ദിവസം ഒരു 2 മാസമായി സ്ട്രോക്കൊക്കെ വന്ന് എങ്ങും പോകാൻ പറ്റാതെ ഇരിക്കണേ. വേറെ ഒരു നിവർത്തി ഞങ്ങൾക്കില്ല. ഞങ്ങളുടെ മോനായിരുന്നു.
Professor Manjula Bharati, Mr. Srijit Ramanan, Ms. Sheila Sajeev Kumar, and Ms. Dhananjay Santosh for sharing those deeply moving stories with us, and to TISS and eARTh for facilitating this important conversation. Let's give them a huge round of applause. I request Jay to please come on the stage to hand them a small token. It is now time to reflect on the past year with the mentors who have guided our eARTh Climate Fellows throughout their creative journey. We are honored to have our 4 incredible mentors with us today: Ms. Mamta Sagar, Mr. Vasu Dikshit, Mr. Sean Sebastian, and Ms. Surekha. Together, they'll share their experiences, thoughts, and reflections on the power of art in addressing climate change and shaping climate-conscious communities. Following this, the eARTh Climate Fellows will present their own work, their inspirations, and the climate issues they've addressed through their work. Let's welcome our mentors on stage.
I'd request all the 4 fellows to please come on the dais. Good evening. I'm Mamta Sagar, one of the mentors for the eARTh Initiative CSTEP Fellowship. And with me are 3 other mentors, Sean, Surekha, and Vasu. And with us are 4 other fellows, Rishabh, Jyothika, Kavya, and Yadhunandan. So we are a band of people who put up the show outside, which are works of art exhibited as part of the end of the fellowship. So right now we begin with, I would like to invite Sean to please let our audience know your engagement with the fellowship, and also very shortly, because we have exceeded too much time, we are waiting for Vasu's performance. So that is also part of the fellowship because he's one of the mentors. So please tell us our engagement with the fellowship and about your practice itself.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mamta. Thank you, CSTEP, for having me yet again for the second eARTh event. For me, I feel life has come a circle right now with me attending the second eARTh event. I was also part of the previous event where one of my film was screened here, and also I was part of a similar panel discussion on the role of art and climate change in general. To be frank, to speak about the fellowship, I was not expecting that a call would come from CSTEP that I should be part of a mentorship program, because I'm not someone who practices regular art. I think it is often a tough question for me when someone asks, are you an artist or not? So that
Sean,
question has...
Are you an artist or not?
I think let time reveal that. But nevertheless, I guess overall, the experience has been wonderful. I think enough has already been spoken about the need for art and science to come together to bridge that particular divide. I think if you ask someone to define this particular fellowship and the eARTh event in general, I think it would be that it tries to divide that particular gap that exists. And I feel that this particular fellowship is in that right direction. And it has been an exciting journey for all of us. And even as mentors ourselves, that we were exposed to a lot of new ideas, especially from CSTEP. The scientists at CSTEP, researchers, did give us a lot of inputs. And at one point, I remember Mamta saying that leave the fellows, but do give us also a chance to do a work of art. So I think maybe that has to wait. But overall, this has been an exciting journey. I mean, all 4 mentors, all of us come from different background. I'm a filmmaker myself, and I'm a journalist. I work a lot with community media. especially since my early journalism practice, I had a chance to tell stories of people who have been affected by environmental issues in general, which began with the 2018 Kerala floods, which was a landmark moment for me. I come from Kochi to realize that climate change is not just on papers, but it is also in your backyard, and how people are affected in general. But since then, I've been trying to tell stories of resilience in general. We use the word resilience a lot today. I think that itself explains the fact that more than climate change, climate resilience is the aura that envelops us in general. So that has been my practice. And even last year during the CSTEP event, a film that I had made on a mangrove conservationist in Kochi was screened. And over the years, that has been my practice in general, to share stories of hope and resilience. And today, we see a lot of work outside where the fellows themselves, if you see the core of it, there is a lot of personal engagement, I feel. Many of them have reflected works that come from the place that they come from. Jyothika's work on the Malabar frog, Kavya's work on the hornbill in Karnataka, and similar things. So I think the fellows have really been able to find a personal connection with the art, and to me that has been, I think that is the biggest takeaway from the fellowship.
Thank you, Sean. So Sean is a filmmaker and a journalist, and like it was very beautiful for all four of us. Put together and share and exchange our ideas, and also with the fellows. So now I request Surekha to please tell about yourself. Surekha is an artist and a very dear friend. She's from Bangalore.
Hello. It has been an extremely interesting journey interacting with CSTEP and also with the fellows and mentors. Actually, I myself, work with ecology the last 20 years. Like I'm a sort of a video, photography, and also I do a lot of installations and public art projects. And my favorite theme, since last 20 years has been like Bangalore. So a lot of work which I've done with like Jakur Lake or the big banyan tree, or, just with the how city is changing a lot, and also how this techno city was once upon a time a kind of agrarian land. So there were a lot of issues I've been working in the last 20 years. So when I got this opportunity to work with the fellows, I thought it's quite an interesting journey with them, and also to share all these things with them actually. But what I've observed, like in the last 9 months, the fellows have pushed themselves a lot. They have really worked hard, and also see, once you are from a visual art background, you know particular media, how to convey your ideas, and also you have trained to do a certain things in a particular way actually. But here, in the last 9 months, they have interacted with CSTEP, and also they have attended a lot of workshops, and also they were informed with a lot of issues about climate, and also the climate change, and also ecology, and also the air quality. So there's so many things they learned, and along with that we also learned a lot actually. So whatever you see outside, I think that's the result of this whole the 9 months journey of that. So I think I congratulate the fellows for really have come up with this fabulous art.
Okay, I request to Vasu. No, I want you to talk first. Okay, because he's not just a musician, he's beyond that. So his expertise as a musician and beyond that has come into this fellowship. Now it's up to you.
Yep, I sing, make some noise about things that are happening around. So I think the work that they have put, all four fellows, I think it's a testimony of what they have explored in these 9 months. It's very rare that an organization comes and says, we are going to give you space, resource, information, and above all, money and food. So you go and create art. I think that's a beautiful thing to happen. And like I said in one of my videos, what has art got to do with climate change? I think art has got to do with everything and what we can really think of. So that's what time and again we have seen how art not a sound mentor. So art can actually go beyond what we can understand through words, information, and other statistics. So it can reach places that we can't really express our experience within ourselves, and also it can go to places that the receiver or the audience can also probably don't have an idea that there is a space like that. It helps you go to those places. And with this information and statistics that we have today, I think art has a beautiful medium to take it with such care and such balance that it is beyond our own understanding. So I think it's a great step for all these fellows that they have got such a wonderful experience to explore all their artistic creations. Usually art, we only talk about creating beauty, but also how do we describe a destruction like climate change with beauty. I think that is what they have explored in these 9 months. It may not be the end result, it may not be the solution, but it's a start, a spark, a beginning for something bigger. So I wish all the best for all 4 of them, and I also request all of you, if you have not looked at their work, which are on display, please go do look at that, and also interact with them to understand what they have understood.
Okay, now it's my turn. I'm Mamta Sagar. I've been one of the mentors for all these 9 months. I've thoroughly enjoyed. Half the thing which I wanted to tell, Vasu has already told. So we thank CSTEP for being with us and thinking about this fellowship and allowing us to mentor these wonderful artists, young artists. We have learned a lot when we started working with them. And especially, I also did a workshop in my house. I'm a poet, playwright, and I'm somebody who work with text and the visual. So we did a lot of installations. We talked a lot about various things, and we wrote a lot of things, and it was beautiful, seeing words gets transformed into visuals, and visuals gets transcended into words, and the transcreations and whatever they were doing, translations, and it was really, really beautiful. And not much about me, and I've been writing poems, I perform poems, I practice interdisciplinary kind of work with visual, oral, and I collaborate with musicians, I collaborate with visual artists, and all these, you already listened to 3 other mentors, and now this is my experience. All our experiences we try to put into them, because each artist, young artist, already has a language. They already know how to speak, but they are learning to speak more. So our work was to first to understand what is the language that they speak, what is the medium that they work, what are they comfortable with. And with that, we also learned, and we also exposed them to our kind of work. So they not only continued working with their skills, they also learned a lot as a knowledge from various interactions with CSTEP, and also interactions with all the 4 of us. So we, all 4 of us, on behalf of all 4 of us, I would like to thank CSTEP for being with us, inviting us, and allowing us to work with the fellows. Now, I would like to request the fellows. We begin with Rishabh. So please, Rishabh, let us know a bit about your fellowship experience.
So I'm I'm Rishabh. I'm 23 years old. I studied in Shetty, Bangalore. I graduated in May of 2023, specializing in digital media arts and animation, basically. Um, I mainly tend to gravitate towards game design and gamification, and the reason I applied for this fellowship was because I wanted to explore the possibility of like working on social justice related work through through the lens of like gamification and game design, and I couldn't like I mean it was a great opportunity for doing just that. um, I I began with making a comic, which was like a more like a rudimentary medium, which is what I learned in college, like comic making and storyboarding and stuff. And then like I tried to move on to like a card game, and like eventually with my personal project and like the collaborative project, I tried to make two different video games while incorporating creative writing and stop motion. So that's it. No.
Hi everybody, my name is Jyothika. I'm coming from Kerala, Kannur. I just passed my graduation this year in Kavya College, Mysore. I got to know about this fellowship by Instagram, and also my seniors, a lot of people suggested me to apply for it, and that's how I reached here. And like I usually do works related to animals and human coexistence. So before also I used to do works related to these things. So I thought it would be like I just have to continue my works and all, and it would be helpful by with the help of the mentors and all I can improve my works and all. So I applied it, and like the first I started the work is Harvest of Memories, which is a painting inspired by the memories which I from the February offline session of Jakur Lake. And in that I have drawn migrating birds, 4 migrating birds in the center, and rest what all I felt on that day and what all memories I have drawn behind it. Next I did an installation of birds and how it was affected by the global warming and all. Like I crafted some origami birds and all, and while displaying I displayed like somewhere like burnt, representing a damaged bird due to global warming and all. So like while displaying the I made it like an interactive session before, so that people can also come and make the birds. That birds so that then gradually the damaged birds became less, and like the good one became more. And later on I felt like I have to add my own my own things to that work. So I made a metal wire sculpture of a painted stroke, and I did that. So next I did was about the whale fall. It was about like how after death of a whale is like, I was trying to visualize next 200 years of a whale. And other one was about the Malabar Hill frogs, and that one kind of frogs used to be mostly in part of in regions like Western Ghats and Malabar area like North Kerala. So in monsoon season that frogs used to be a regular guest of our house. Like it used to come in my like house, hide somewhere inside, like in a dark and moist area and all. And like when it is raining and all, it will be making a sound. It used to be very interesting for me, so I did a work related to that. Fellowship, this 9-month fellowship was very helpful for me. I got like my works had improved a lot. Thank you to the mentors and the CSTEP. So yeah, that's it.
My name is Kavya. I'm from Bangalore. I recently completed my Bachelor of Visual Arts in Kavya College. I'm also a theatre practitioner. So my work is something like merged into performance and visual art. So I used to practice with the emotions, characters, composition, and characters and the objects, something like that. Before Earth Climate project, I used to observe and practice with the objects and the composition, the objects with the time and space, how it will be. I used to play with the objects and the characters. My work is something related to emotions. So I feel like emotions is a tool which we can which is like it affects more to the people, I feel. So I use that tool in my work. So after the CSTEP fellowship, I added into my work with sounds and poem and words, something like that. I did Kukralikere work, and I did a poem. It's about a great hornbill. It's about a poem, and it's something like the positive and the negative I'm showing over there. And after that, I did one interactive work. It's a breathing wall. It is something like with the air quality index, I did those things. And I did one performing. It's about the banyan tree. After this fellowship, my way of seeing with the climate things has been changed. I used to go to Kukralikere most of the times, or Banyan Tree also. I used to go there, but I never saw those place something like I am now seeing it. So it affected me something in a different way. So with the help of the mentors and the CSTEP, I got so many information and so many things. It is something like transformation for my work and practice. So now ADAP is something like the sounds and the performance and the poem. Those things I added into my practice. So yeah, thank you.
Hi, myself Yadhunandan. I'm a Bangalore-based visual artist, and I basically work with nature's material. Like I use areca leaf and ash, and those are the materials which I use to sculpt. So, as part of this Earth Climate Fellowship, when I went in search of material, I found like a copper wires which were extracted from network towers. Where those are the e-waste which are getting in the scrap, like which human footprints are. So I use that material to sculpt series of sculptures, and one of my sculpture is a tree branch which you can see out there, like where Earth tree represents Earth. On that, which the material which I have used, it's a mixture of wood powder, charcoal powder, and tree resin. It's completely a tree extracted powder, which easily can be decomposed. So on that we can see what human footprints like e-waste which I have used on that, like how humans are producing e-waste. Like everyone wants a new gadget. Like after 2-3 years they change to a new gadget. Like how about the old gadget? Like not all their e-waste can be recycled. Like only about 70 to 80% can be recycled. Like if at all if they do. So I chose that material. Like I went into a junkyard where I collected those materials to sculpt, and the copper material, the wire, like which carries the memory of the people who have used that to communicate or to learn or to connect with different people. So that series which talks about the generation also, like 2G to 5G, which we are standing right now, like how the networks are getting faster and faster, which has a effect on the nature, like the radiations. Like it is affecting the nature, or the nature is getting evolved with the radiations that we don't know. Like that's not so easy to get to know with plants. So that's the journey. Like it's still a question. I'm still finding answer through the nature. Yeah, and one more, the ICAST sculpture, which you can see there, where I have used copper and the same material, the Nurva, which I basically sculpt with. Yeah, even there you can see the transition from the fresh air to the polluted air. In between, I have used copper, where copper, it started as we were talking in the morning. Like it's from copper age. It's like 5000 BC. From then, copper started invading, where they started copper in the form of tools to attack, to hunt, like ornamental purpose. And now it's everywhere. Without copper, it's very tough to survive in this present generation. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you all the fellows for a very detailed explanation of your work. And I think definitely it's there for all of us to see beyond their words. Maybe the work art will say it more. So when we were planning the session, when it was decided that Mamta will be the moderator, we all thought that she should be the one who is speaking the most. So my journalistic instincts it's prompting me to ask you a question. So it's directly related to what Kavya said about her hornbill work. At the same time, the work is quite beautiful in nature, but at the same time, the reality of that, she's trying to present a dire situation. And when we were ideating what work the fellows should present, and also considering the nature of the event, I mean, this is CSTEP is an organization that is working towards solutions and research. So can we? So what nature the art should be? Does art always needs to be positive? Does it always? We know that the climate change discourse right now has a very resilience aura to it. But when we create a work of art, does it always have to be positive? Or does it need to present solutions? Or is it okay that we just express a problem and let the viewers take it beyond? So I would like to know your thoughts on it.
Well, on behalf of all of us, I think I'll answer this. Like, art can be anything. Art can be a text. It can be multiple texts based on the text. It can be a text of visual text, sound text, whatever, you know. So you cannot expect art to change the world. So each of us who look at art, engage with art, carry a baggage of whoever we are, you know, our multiple identities. So our approach to art is also through our background. And therefore, when an artist makes a work of art, you cannot mostly people will come and say, oh, can you tell us what it is? And people who are artists will tell them what it is, you know. But it's important for us to approach the work of art, and only then we will start thinking about what we are. And that's very important. I felt like all of us, all four of us and all four of them, whenever they were sharing with us, whenever we were sharing with them, it was a kind of diverse kind of ideas that hopped in one space and we picked it. And I think this is enough, whatever I said. And you know, we have more stories, much more, which we didn't tell you. If you're curious about it, get back to CSTEP and they will retell our stories. Thank you very much. Now we curiously have been waiting for Vasu.
For mentors for those insightful reflections, and our fellows for sharing their artworks and perspectives. Before we let them go, I request Jay to please hand out a small token of appreciation and felicitate the fellows with their certificates. Can I request Sri Rekha to please come on stage to hand out the certificates? Rishabh Shetty. Yadhunandan. Jyothika. And Kavya. Thank you, Shri. Now, as we near the end of this evening, we have something very special in store for you. To close the event, we have an electrifying performance by the Vasu Dikshit Collective. I please welcome them on stage. So get ready for an experience that will take you on a musical journey that celebrates the spirit of earth, creativity, and climate action. I request the audience to please stick around while the band makes arrangements for their performance. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Okay, let's try this again. Good evening, everybody. Okay, let's pretend that it's a house full. I'd like to start our show with a song which was earlier a poem by Mamta Sagar. It's called Nadiyolage. Nadiyolage, which means in the river. And she says, in the river, I see the reflection of the sky, the cloud, and the sun. I see them, the sky, the cloud, and the cold sun. I take this water in my hand and I take them all. The sun, the sky, the cloud. I throw this water in the air, and in each drop I see them. The sun, the sky, the cloud. These water droplets fall on me. They all fall on me. The sun, the sky, the cloud. I take this water in my hand and I drink. I drink them all. The sun, the sky, the cloud. Now tell me who is inside whom. Now tell me who is inside who. ನದಿಯೊಳಗೆ ಆಕಾಶ ಮೋಡ ತಣ್ಣಗಿನ ಸೂರ್ಯ ನದಿಯೊಳಗೆ ಆಕಾಶ ಮೋಡ ತಣ್ಣಗಿನ ಸೂರ್ಯ ನದಿಯೊಳಗೆ ಆಕಾಶ ಮೋಡ ತಣ್ಣಗಿನ ಸೂರ್ಯ ನನ್ನ ಬೊಗಸೆಯಲ್ಲೊಂದು ನದಿ ನನ್ನ ಬೊಗಸೆಯಲ್ಲೊಂದು ನದಿ ನನ್ನ ಬೊಗಸೆಯಲ್ಲೊಂದು ನದಿ ಮೇಲೆರಚಿದರೆ ಹನಿ ಹನಿಯಾಗಿ ಚೆಲ್ಲುವುದು ಮೈ ಮೇಲೆ ಮೇಲೆರಚಿದರೆ ಹನಿ ಹನಿಯಾಗಿ ಚೆಲ್ಲುವುದು ಮೈ ಮೇಲೆ ನದಿ ಆಕಾಶ ಮೋಡ ಸೂರ್ಯ ನದಿ ಆಕಾಶ ಮೋಡ ಸೂರ್ಯ ನದಿ ಆಕಾಶ ಮೋಡ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಬೊಗಸೆ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿದರೆ ಕುಡಿದಂತೆ ಹೇ ಬೊಗಸೆ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿದರೆ ಕುಡಿದಂತೆ ನದಿ ಆಕಾಶ ಮೋಡ ಸೂರ್ಯರನ್ನ ನದಿ ಆಕಾಶ ಮೋಡ ಸೂರ್ಯರನ್ನ ಅಡಕ ಯಾರು ಯಾರೊಳಗೆ ಅಡಕ ಯಾರು ಯಾರೊಳಗೆ ಅಡಕ ಯಾರು ಯಾರೊಳಗೆ ನದಿಯೊಳಗೆ ಆಕಾಶ ಮೋಡ ತಣ್ಣಗಿನ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಮೋಡ ತಣ್ಣಗಿನ
How are you all doing? All okay? Okay. So fast. People are so fast. Please tag me on Instagram if you're putting it up. Okay. So, we have moved very fast in time. But you've seen those older films where there used to be this character in the family house who is not related to anyone, but he's there. He doesn't talk much, but he'll do all good work that are needed to be done in the house. And he's like our Hangal actor who used to be there in these movies. And he would be most often called Ramu Kaka. And then nowadays, if you see such kind of roles are not there, such kind of actors are not there, because such kind of films are not there. We live in a different time. So this song, Ramu Kaka, is a dedication or a respect to that era, time, values, system, and a bit of innocence. This one's called Ramu Kaka. अब बैल कहाँ कोई हाकारे, नहीं रहे रामू काका रे। बैल कहाँ कोई हाकारे, नहीं रहे रामू काका रे। गायब जोर ठहाकारे, क्या करे मस्ती जब नहीं फाका रे। अब बैल कहाँ कोई हाकारे, नहीं रहे रामू काका रे। टोली लेकर कौन जाएगा, टोली लेकर कौन जाएगा, लाठी गोली कौन खाएगा। अब टोली लेकर कौन जाएगा, लाठी गोली कौन खाएगा। आ नई क्रांति कर ले प्यारे, कर ले प्यारे। आ नई क्रांति कर ले प्यारे, इंटरनेट पे छोड़ लड़ी पटाखा रे, नहीं रहे रामू काका रे। Okay, this verse is where I will sing one line and you will repeat, even if you don't understand. समझे पुख्ता काम करेगा. You're supposed to repeat after that, immediately. We'll try that again. समझे पुख्ता काम करेगा, भ्रष्टाचार खत्म करेगा, भ्रष्टाचार खत्म करेगा। चुने थे सच्चा क्रांतिकारी, निकला धूम धड़ाका रे। ना 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 रहे रामू काका रे। गगन में उड़ती
चहके मुनिया, गगन में उड़ती चहके मुनिया, मेरी है ये पूरी दुनिया। चहके मुनिया, मेरी है ये पूरी दुनिया। गगन में उड़ती चहके मुनिया, मेरी है ये पूरी दुनिया। गली गली में कुत्ते भौंके, नहीं रहे रामू काका रे। ना रहे रामू, ना रहे रामू, ना रहे रामू काका रे। This one's a Kabir song, and it's a traditional folk tune, but with our own twist. And it's about being in one trance, when in happiness, in surrender, in gratitude. It's being in a mast. This one's called Man Mast. मन मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले, मन मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले। मन मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले, मन मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले। क्या बोले रे, क्या बोले रे, क्या बोले रे, क्या बोले रे। मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले, हो मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले। मन मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले, मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले। हंस पावे मन सरोवर, हंस पावे मन सरोवर, हंस पावे मन सरोवर। तल तलैया में क्यों डोले, हो तल तलैया में क्यों डोले। मन मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले, मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले। In this verse, Kabir says, Hira pave bandh gatadiya. You know, when we are traveling in this journey of life, we are insecure about many things. Okay, I will not say we. I am insecure about many things. And I keep checking. Is my phone here? Is my wallet here? Is my love here? Is my compassion still here? We keep checking. We keep testing people close to us. I keep testing their love. But Kabir says, when you found this treasure,
Why are you testing it? Just tie it, put it, and keep going.
हीरा पावे बंद गठड़िया, हीरा पावे बंद गठड़िया, हीरा पावे बंद गठड़िया, बार बार वांगू क्यों खोले, हो बार बार वांगू क्यों खोले, मन मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले, मन मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले। कहे कबीरा सुनो भाई साधो, सुनो भाई साधो, सुनो भाई साधो, कहे कबीरा सुनो भाई साधो, कहे कबीरा सुनो भाई साधो, साहिब मिल गया दिलों में, हो साहिब मिल गया दिलों में, मन मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले, मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले। मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले, मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले, क्या बोले रे, क्या बोले रे, क्या बोले रे, क्या बोले रे, मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले, हो मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले, मन मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले, मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले, मस्त हुआ फिर क्या बोले।
How many of you remember this? You have come to the wrong Dikshit, ma'am. Yeah, but we have different bands and different songs. But yeah, it's there on YouTube. Kabir is also a Madheshwara, okay? So this one is called O Sadho. And Kabir talks about different things which we will discover as we go. So Kabir is in the market, like we all are in the market. Transactions of give and take. You give me a smile, I will give you a smile. Like how mothers tell, I love you, baby. Then why they tell? Because they're expecting the baby to tell, I love you, mama. So everything is a transaction in the market. So Kabira Khada Bazar mein. We are all the Kabirs. I am the Kabir in this market. कबीरा खड़ा बाजार में, कबीरा खड़ा बाजार में, कबीरा खड़ा बाजार में, कबीरा खड़ा बाजार में। ओ साधो, ओ साधो, ओ साधो, ओ साधो, ओ साधो, ओ साधो।
खड़ा बाजार में, कबीरा खड़ा बाजार में। ओ साधो ओ साधो ओ साधो ओ साधो ओ साधो ओ साधो। धीरे धीरे रहमना धीरे सब कुछ होए, धीरे धीरे रहमना धीरे सब कुछ होए। माली सिचे सागड़ा सागड़ा सागड़ा। धीरे धीरे रे मना धीरे माली सिचे सागड़ा माली सिचे सागड़ा माली सिचे सागड़ा। रुत आए फल होए रुत आए फल होए। ओ साधो ओ साधो ओ साधो। कबीरा खड़ा बाजार में, कबीरा खड़ा बाजार में। ओ साधो ओ साधो ओ साधो ओ साधो ओ साधो ओ साधो। बुरा जो देखन में चला बुरा मिलन कोई, बुरा जो देखन में चला बुरा मिलन कोई। माली सिचे सागड़ा जो दिल खोजा खोजा मैं खोजा मैं खोजा अपना दिल खोजा मैं अपना दिल 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 खोजा। न कोई ओ साधो ओ साधो ओ साधो। कबीरा खड़ा बाजार में, कबीरा खड़ा बाजार में, ओ साधो 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 ओ साधो।
Okay, now is the time when we should have some light on the audience, so that you all can sing with us. Do we have someone to give away the lyrics of the song? So that, first he has to wake up. Yes, please. Okay. Some of you know this song, Ragi Tandira. Okay. Sure. Okay. We'll do some warm up before we sing.
ರಾಗಿ
ಮೇಡಮ್ ನೀವು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ನೀವು ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಆಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಯಾರು ಮೇಡಮ್ ನೀವು? ನೀವೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಟ್ರೈಬು. ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಲರ್ನ್. ಕಮ್ ಆನ್.
ರಾಗಿ 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 ರಾಗಿ.
See, don't take that electronic city flyover. Come down in auto and then sing Ragi Ragi. Shake shake होने का. चलो भैया.
ರಾಗಿ ತಂದೀರಾ ಭಿಕ್ಷಕ ರಾಗಿ ತಂದೀರಾ.
ಮೇಡಮ್ ನೀವೇ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡಿ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ಹಂಗಂತ ನಾವು ಶೋ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. ಓಕೆ.
ರಾಗಿ ತಂದೀರಾ ಭಿಕ್ಷಕ ರಾಗಿ ತಂದೀರಾ. ರಾಗಿ ತಂದೀರಾ ಭಿಕ್ಷಕ ರಾಗಿ ತಂದೀರಾ. ಯೋಗ್ಯರಾಗಿ ಭೋಗ್ಯರಾಗಿ ಭಾಗ್ಯವಂತರಾಗಿ. ಯೋಗ್ಯರಾಗಿ ಭೋಗ್ಯರಾಗಿ ಭಾಗ್ಯವಂತರಾಗಿ. ರಾಗಿ ತಂದೀರಾ ಭಿಕ್ಷಕ ರಾಗಿ ತಂದೀರಾ. Everybody. ರಾಗಿ ತಂದೀರಾ ಭಿಕ್ಷಕ ರಾಗಿ ತಂದೀರಾ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ರಾಗಿ ತಂದೀರಾ. ಛತ್ರವನ್ನಿಟ್ಟವರಾಗಿ ಅನ್ನದಾನವ ಮಾಡುವರಾಗಿ ಅನ್ನ ಛತ್ರವನ್ನಿಟ್ಟವರಾಗಿ ಅನ್ಯವಾರ್ತೆಯ ಬಿಟ್ಟವರಾಗಿ ಅನುದಿನ ಭಜನೆಯ ಮಾಡುವರಾಗಿ ಅನ್ಯವಾರ್ತೆಯ ಬಿಟ್ಟವರಾಗಿ ಅನುದಿನ ಭಜನೆಯ ಮಾಡುವರಾಗಿ ರಾಗಿ ತಂದಿರಾ ಭಿಕ್ಷಕರಾಗಿ ತಂದಿರಾ everybody Hey, what's the second verse? Just testing you. ಮಾತಾ ಪಿತರನ್ನು ಸೇವಿಪರಾಗಿ ಪಾಪ ಕರ್ಮವ ಬಿಟ್ಟವರಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾ ಪಿತರನ್ನು ಸೇವಿಪರಾಗಿ ಪಾಪ ಕರ್ಮವ ಬಿಟ್ಟವರಾಗಿ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಬಾಳನ್ನು ಬಾಳುವರಾಗಿ ನೀತಿ ಮಾರ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಖ್ಯಾತರಾಗಿ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಬಾಳನ್ನು ಬಾಳುವರಾಗಿ ನೀತಿ ಮಾರ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಖ್ಯಾತರಾಗಿ ರಾಗಿ ತಂದಿರಾ ಭಿಕ್ಷಕರಾಗಿ ತಂದಿರಾ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ರಾಗಿ ತಂದಿರಾ ಕಾಮಕ್ರೋಧವ ಅಳಿದವರಾಗಿ ನೇಮ ನಿತ್ಯವ ಮಾಡುವರಾಗಿ ಕಾಮಕ್ರೋಧವ ಅಳಿದವರಾಗಿ ನೇಮ ನಿತ್ಯವ ಮಾಡುವರಾಗಿ ರಾಮನಾಮವ ಜಪಿಸುವರಾಗಿ ಪ್ರೇಮದಿ ಕುಣಿ ಕುಣಿದಾಡುವರಾಗಿ So here Purandaradasa says Rama. But Rama doesn't have to be the blue colored man. Rama doesn't need a temple, especially the leaky one. Rama needs a temple in our hearts, where other gods are also welcome. Rama, Allah, Yeshu, Guru Nanak, Buddha, Virat Kohli. Maybe not. Now it's Ashwin. Scored a century yesterday. Deepika Padukone. I don't know. Whoever is your God, your wife, your husband, your children, your parents, your friends, anyone that you can keep in your heart and pray in gratitude. So he says, take the name of the Lord with utmost devotion. Your whole life will become a dance of love. ರಾಮನಾಮವ ಜಪಿಸುವರಾಗಿ ಪ್ರೇಮದಿ ಕುಣಿ ಕುಣಿದಾಡುವರಾಗಿ ರಾಮನಾಮವ ಜಪಿಸುವರಾಗಿ ಪ್ರೇಮದಿ ಕುಣಿ ಕುಣಿದಾಡುವರಾಗಿ ಭಿಕ್ಷಕರಾಗಿ ತಂದಿರಾ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ before the last verse, we'll do some tongue twisters. Do it, do it. ಶ್ರೀರಮಣನ ದಿನ ನೆನೆಯುವರಾಗಿ ಗುರುತಿಗೆ ಬಾಹೋರಂಥವರಾಗಿ ಶ್ರೀರಮಣನ ದಿನ ನೆನೆಯುವರಾಗಿ ಗುರುತಿಗೆ ಬಾಹೋರಂಥವರಾಗಿ ಕರೆದರ ಭವವನ್ನು ನೀಗುವರಾಗಿ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ ಸೇವಿಪರಾಗಿ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲ ನೀವು ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಓ, ಕಾಪಿ ಚೀಟಿ. ಅವಾಗಲೇ ಚೀಟಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನೇನು ಹಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಟುಮಾರೋ ಇಸ್ ವೀಕೆಂಡ್. ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಲಬ್ಬಿಂಗ್? ಲೈಕ್ ಎನಿ ಒನ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡಾನ್ಸಿಂಗ್? 3 of you? Yeah, you look like that. You're ready all for it already. Okay. So this song will prepare you for that tomorrow. Okay. So the seats have been warm for some time. So let's give it some air. So you get up, shake your body and dance. Yeah. What? Wow, really? Yeah, everybody. Get up. So this song is called Agala Anbeda, which means don't say not possible. Okay? Even if you don't understand, you can dance. Madam, you can also dance. Just, yendringo. Oh, Malayalam. Yenike Malayalam ariyad. Ariyalle. Inde chetta yeniki. Okay. Ready? Let's go. Hey, everybody, somebody, big body, small body. Come, body, dance like nobody. Come and shake your body. ಮಾಡಿದ್ದುನು ಮರಯ್ಯ ಬಿದ್ರೆ ಎದ್ದು ಒಡೆಯ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದುನು ಮರಯ್ಯ ಬಿದ್ರೆ ಎದ್ದು ಒಡೆಯ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದುನು ಮರಯ್ಯ ಬಿದ್ರೆ ಎದ್ದು ಒಡೆಯ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂಬೇಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂಬೇಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂಬೇಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನೀ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ಓ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ಹೇ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ದೋಸ್ತವು ಎರಡು ನಿಜ ಅದರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇರೋ ಮಜಾ ಅರಿತವನ ಮಹಾರಾಜ ದೋಸ್ತವು ಎರಡು ನಿಜ ಅದರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇರೋ ಮಜಾ ಅರಿತವನ ಮಹಾರಾಜ ಆಡಿದರೆ ಆಟನೋ ಕಲಿದರೆ ಪಾಠನೋ ಆಡಿದರೆ ಆಟನೋ ಕಲಿದರೆ ಪಾಠನೋ ತಂದಾನೆ ತಾನಾನೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಬೇಕು ತಂದಾನೆ ತಾನಾನೆ ಹೃದಯ ಬೇಕು ತಂದಾನೆ ತಾನಾನೆ ಕುಣಿಯಬೇಕು ತಂದಾನೆ ತಾನಾನೆ ಹಾರಬೇಕು ನೋವೆಲ್ಲ ಮರೆಯಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಸೋಲಲ್ಲೂ ಗೆಲ್ಲಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನೀ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ಓ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ಹೇ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ಅವು ಎಣಿ ಆಡಬೇಕು ಬೇವು ಬೆಲ್ಲ ತಿನ್ನಬೇಕು ಈ ಹಾಡಿಗೆ ಕುಣಿಲೇಬೇಕು ಅವು ಎಣಿ ಆಡಬೇಕು ಬೇವು ಬೆಲ್ಲ ತಿನ್ನಬೇಕು ಈ ಹಾಡಿಗೆ ಕುಣಿಲೇಬೇಕು ನಡೆದರೆ ಜಯನೋ ತಡೆದರೆ ಭಯನೋ ನಡೆದರೆ ಜಯನೋ ತಡೆದರೆ ಭಯನೋ ತಂದಾನೆ ತಾನಾನೆ ತಿಳಿಯಬೇಕು ತಂದಾನೆ ತಾನಾನೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಬೇಕು ತಂದಾನೆ ತಾನಾನೆ ಜಿಗಿಯಬೇಕು ತಂದಾನೆ ತಾನಾನೆ ಹಾರಬೇಕು ಆಕಾಶ ಮುಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಪಾತಾಳ ತಲುಪಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನೀ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ಓ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ ಹೇ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬೇಡ Thank you very much. On the guitar, keys, and various other gadgets, Joel Sakari. On the keys and various other some more gadgets, Manu Srivastava.
On the sound is Kushal. Pawan Bhatt on lights. Tilak, our production in charge. Thank you very much. So last year I came alone to perform for CSTEP, and that's how I got to know about them. And I don't know what they found in me. They said, okay, can you be part of this mentorship and all that. I somehow managed. Then here we are. My main goal is to perform back here. So thanks, CSTEP, for still saving my number and calling me back. Yeah, thank you. So if you have taken any videos, vertical videos, and posting it on Instagram, please do tag me. My name is Vasu Dikshit, and Joel Sakari, and Sakari, that's his Instagram, and Manuality on Instagram, Dikshit Vasu on Instagram. We are called Vasu Dikshit Collective. Thank you very much. It's already too late. I think you should go home. Apni billi apne ko meow. Okay, we'll do one last song. Taraka bindige nanirige hoguve tare bindige ya. Taraka bindige nanirige hoguve tare bindige ya. Taraka bindige nanirige hoguve tare bindige ya. Bindige vadare munde kaasu bindige vadare munde kaasu tare bindige ya. Tare bindige ya. Taraka bindige nanirige hoguve tare bindige ya. Taraka bindige nanirige hoguve tare bindige ya. Let's make Purandaradasa meet Kabir. Sai ki nagari Sai ki nagari paramati sundar ati sundar jahan koi jave na
ಗೋವಿಂದವೆಂಬ ಗುಣವುಳ್ಳ ನೀರಿಗೆ ತಾರೆ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆಯ ಗೋವಿಂದವೆಂಬೋ ಗುಣವುಳ್ಳ ನೀರಿಗೆ ತಾರೆ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆಯ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನಿಗೆ ವಿಠಲ 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 ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನಿಗೆ ಅಭಿಷೇಕ ಮಾಡುವೆ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನಿಗೆ ಅಭಿಷೇಕ ಮಾಡುವೆ ತಾರೆ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆಯ ತಾರೆ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆಯ ತಾರಕ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆ ನಾನೀಗೆ ಹೋಗುವೆ ತಾರೆ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆಯ ತಾರಕ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆ ನಾನೀಗೆ ಹೋಗುವೆ ತಾರೆ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆಯ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆ ಒಡೆದರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಕಾಸು ಬಿಂದಿಗೆ ಒಡೆದರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಕಾಸು ತಾರೆ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆಯ ತಾರೆ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆಯ ತಾರಕ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆ ನಾನೀಗೆ ಹೋಗುವೆ ತಾರೆ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆಯ ತಾರಕ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆ ನಾನೀಗೆ ಹೋಗುವೆ ತಾರೆ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆಯ ತಾರೆ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆಯ ತಾರೆ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆಯ ತಾರೆ ಬಿಂದಿಗೆ ಯಾ
Thank you very much. Thank you, CSTEP, for creating this wonderful opportunity for artists to be part of a scientific solution or scientists to be part of an artistic solution. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Oh, sorry. One last thing. Also, not a sales announcement, but one more small initiative of mine where I give out the lyrics of my songs, including the one that Mamta wrote, Nadi Olage, in the form of inland letters. It is there in the registration desk, so you can buy them. And also, if you like, you can write your own address and give it back to me. I will write that letter to you. I promise, I really do. And this is an initiative to bring back the art of writing. So it's whatever, set of some 10. If one you can write and give it back to me. The rest you can take it home. And so let's see if we can swipe less and write more. Thank you very much. Mamta is saying badge, so if you buy that, it comes free. Whatever. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Vasu, Manu, and Joel, and their entire team for closing out the evening with such a powerful performance. Let's give them our loudest cheer, ladies and gentlemen. I request Jay to please come on stage to felicitate them.
Thank you so much. Let it come this
As we wrap up this incredible evening, we'd like to take a moment to express our deepest gratitude to everyone who made eARTh 2024 such a success. We would once again like to thank the Vasu Dikshit Collective for their electrifying performance and bringing this event to a perfect close. To our eARTh mentors, Mamta Sagar, Vasu Dikshit, Sean Sebastian, and Surekha, thank you for guiding and inspiring our fellows and for sharing your reflections on how art can drive climate action. You made this project your own and gave it your heart and soul. We are truly grateful. A special thanks to our eARTh Climate Fellows, whose creativity and dedication were on full display tonight through their thought-provoking artworks. We are proud of all that you've achieved and look forward to seeing where your journey takes you next. We are also deeply appreciative of Slam Out Loud and their young performers for opening the event with such heart and talent, and for the engaging poetry workshop that followed. Your efforts in bringing children to the climate conversation are inspiring. Our heartfelt thanks go out to Professor Manjula Bharati, Mr. Srijit Ramanan, Ms. Sheila Sajeev Kumar, and Ms. Dhanyajay Santosh for facilitating the powerful video session about climate survivors. Your stories give us much to reflect upon. Our event would not have been possible without the expertise and dedication of the audio team at BIC and the MLT team for lending us the photography and videography expertise. A special note of thanks to Ms. Saraswati MP, Secretariat, and the rest of the team at Bangalore International Centre for providing a splendid venue and accommodating our needs seamlessly. Our heartfelt thanks to Dr. Jaya Asundi, Executive Director, CSTEP, and Munish Sapra, Director of Strategy and Corpus Generation at CSTEP, for their visionary leadership and unwavering support throughout the planning and execution of eARTh. A special thanks to Ms. Rajshri Menon, Chief Financial Officer and the finance team at CSTEP for their meticulous financial management and contribution to the success of the event. A big shout out to our Manager of Travel and Hospitality, Ms. Lalita, Senior Administration Officer, CSTEP, Mr. Manjunath, Senior Manager, Purchase Facilities and Administration, CSTEP, and our technical support staff, Mr. Ramanaidu Venkat and Mr. Srinu Nagaraju, for managing logistics and ensuring the smooth operation of the event. We would also like to thank our HR team for their support. We extend our gratitude to all the researchers and staff at CSTEP, without whose contributions this event would not have been successful. I would like to acknowledge the tireless efforts of all CPE members. Finally, a big thank you to our audience tonight for your unwavering support, and we look forward to future collaborations and initiatives that will continue to make a positive impact on our planet. I invite everyone to explore the exhibition on the first floor and enjoy a wonderful dinner on the terrace. Let's continue the conversations about our planet, our ideas, and art. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Together, let's work towards a better future for a beautiful planet. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
I have something to announce. We were all in a hurry. I think I missed this. Our very, very special thanks to Sri Rekha, Merlin, and Preston, without whom nothing would have been possible. A very big, big hug and a big thanks to you. Thank you.